Today we're gonna make it rain people because every time I click, they pop from the ground. So the faster we click, the more people we get. It's like watching popcorn kernels go off. As amusing as this is, it's not actually earning us anything at all. We need to spend 30 people on one house. And it is a pretty nice house. So now when I click, I get one human sacrifice. And the more humans we sacrifice, the more prettier things we can afford. And it's only a matter of time before we buy another house or two, and they're to sprinkle themselves throughout the land. I like how I don't have to do any planning for once. My popcorn people are now worth 4 sacrifices per click, which means we can afford a tavern for 125, and that's going to give me 10 per second in the background. That's the power of community drinking, passive income. So we're going to go ahead and buy a few more of those, that way I don't have to keep clicking. And something fun has happened. An old ruin has been found somewhere around the city. The idiots aren't sure whether they should rebuild it or just let it be. Oh, we're going to rebuild it. It's some kind of ghost castle. So it gives negative 1% total, so we just lost 1% earnings because we built a ghost castle. I still don't regret that. Every chance we get, we're going to build whatever the game offers us. We're about to spend $1,700 on more houses, so it's going to be a pretty good looking empire. But I also get $26 per click, so the ghosts can't stop me now. The art in this is absolutely beautiful. Almost as beautiful as our human sacrifices, but we can already afford a watchtower for 3,000. It's watching the ghosts absolutely destroy our empire. But now I'm up to $66 per click, so we're gonna keep on doing just that. I like how the houses shake. I like to think we're ripping the residents out to sacrifice them. We rip their souls out and toss their carcass back on the ground for the birds to eat. Massive seed. A massive seed appeared in your city overnight. The citizens aren't sure whether they should investigate or just let it grow. Let it grow. A giant beanstalk? Purely cosmetic. Okay. Well, I won't say no to that. Appearances, after all, are the most important things in the world. Let's get some more passive income going. We need some more taverns. $100 per second. So then we'll spend the next remaining money on 2 more watchtowers. So that's going to give us $145 per click. And it looks like we've still got some upgrades to go. This one seems to earn $1,400 billion per second. That's got to be quite an empire. I can't imagine how many poor decisions we're going to make between now and then. I think my biggest problem with the ghost tower is it kind of blocks the view of everything behind it. I was so caught up in the clicking, I didn't even notice we get our first herbalist hut. Costs $20,000, earns 1,000 per second. Look at that money go up. But I want to watch more people get flung into the air like popcorn. So we're just going to keep our clicker numbers up too. There can be no mercy for the residents of this world. A shelter for flowers. A merchant comes to your city and asks for a place to set a place for flowers. We definitely need more flowers. Yes. Yes to everything. What do you do? Gives plus 1% total. So the flower man counteracts the ghost. So now the ghost really is just purely annoying to look at. We also need more herbalist huts. We're going to spend well over $100,000 on that, but we're earning $5,100 every second just to turn people into popcorn. It really is just the perfect game. At least for me, because I don't have to think. I just click and watch stuff happen. I also haven't been paying attention if they level up at certain levels. It doesn't appear that they do, but it does add more houses actually. Can we just go ahead and add... Oh, the game does not like that. But look at all of our beautiful houses. The houses are giving us, I don't know, 95 per second, I suppose. Now I'm kind of worried I'm going to break the game before we get to the end. The dragon's den. A ferocious dragon has nested near a vital trade route. Do we slay the dragon or seek the help of a dragon tamer? Yeah, let's have the dragon be on our team. Okay, the dragon sanctuary gives plus 1 per second. And it's funny because this actually looks better than anything I've ever built when it comes to town or world builders. I just wanted to get houses to level 100. I hope something fun might happen at that point. To be fair, we did get a dragon. So let's buy more herbalist huts to celebrate. And this is probably going to sound stupid, but I didn't realize there's levels. I'm currently level 4 and I only get leveling up by clicking. Which makes me think that if we buy more levels of this, oh, we actually level up from that. And that might also help clicking give more experience. I'm not here to think, I'm here to click on things. Look how many buildings and stuff shake now when I click. That's kind of fun. I've created a jello world. Also, we're going to have an archery range that's going to give us plus 3,000 per click. So is that going to help me level up? No, clicking still gives the same amount of experience. But clicking now gives us almost 4,000 sacrifices. So naturally, we're going to buy more of those. 7,000 per click. And we're about to hit level 5, so that's what happens here. Every time we level up, that's when we get an event. The miners have come across a split deep down in a cavern. Should they take the left tunnel or the right tunnel? Right. And they were never seen again. Gives minus 1% total. Well, I guess I should have gone the other way. No matter what choice they make, it all leads to a human sacrifice for them anyway, so they probably didn't really care that much. What we're gonna do now is add more archery ranges. We don't have room for air in this civilization. If it's not filled with houses, Not good enough. I want the very molecules and atoms to feel like they don't have any room to breathe. We're actually at almost 20,000 per click now. And to celebrate, we're going to buy more houses just because it's fun to watch them all sprinkle in. And then we make the Jello world. We're already a 2 millionaire. I should look at the numbers more. The game is good when it can distract you from even how much money you make. We need more archery ranges to celebrate. $30,000 per click. And we can click pretty fast. Tavern of Ghosts. Ghosts have been sighted in the city's taverns. You could welcome them or ask your most trusted wizards to get rid of the ghosts. No, we want the ghosts. Welcome them. We want a civilization of ghosts, even though the last ones didn't help. I seem to have a problem. I'm not really sure what the ghosts do now. We added them in, but they're behind the other ghost decision I made, so we can't tell if it's good or bad. Oh, I see now. The symbol above is a plus or a minus, which indicates good or bad. I still can't see the one behind it, but we can add a butchery. I like how it doesn't clarify what we're butchering, it's just a butchery. That also added $100,000 per second, so we just basically got 10 times our earnings. And that's the kind of earnings I can get behind. I want to know what's at the top of the beanstalk as well. Maybe if we build high enough up, we can start building skyscrapers. Our money's getting stupid already. We made $9 million and we were back to zero. So let's buy 2 butcheries, soon to be 3 butcheries. Butchery. I'm pretty sure that's not a real thing. I think it's called a butcher shop in real life. But you probably shouldn't take my word for anything. I'm sitting here clicking on an imaginary Jello village. I wish houses weren't so expensive. $150,000 each. But I do like to make it rain. The bakery costs 35 million, so that's still going to be at least a few seconds. So while we're waiting for that, more butcheries. Maybe the butchery is where we send the people once we pluck them out of their homes. I assume they don't take the fall very well. We launch them 30 meters into the air. So from there, they go to the butchery. We turn them into food for the remaining people that haven't yet been tossed into the air. The Goblin Settlement. Scouts have found a large Goblin settlement nearby. You could train warriors to wipe it out or establish contact. Now let's train warriors. Let's destroy the goblins. Did that work? Okay, we got a paladin barracks out of that. Apparently we get plus 3% per click. Eventually that's going to add up because as we buy a bakery for $35 million, that gives us plus 300,000 per click. And we get an extra 3% out of that, so that alone is giving us 9,000 per click. Then again, that number seems kind of insignificant. When your numbers are doing this, you're having a good day. The numbers have turned into Jello themselves. That also means I don't have to click, but I want to click, so we keep leveling up and getting stupid new buildings. Also, more butcheries. That way we can earn $1.2 million per second. Next is a blacksmith. It's going to cost $400 million. So that's going to take a second to get to. While we're waiting, we're going to buy another bakery and soon to be another bakery. It's going to cost $42 million and there it is. So our earnings right now are probably about $5 million per second, which sounds pretty good, but that gets me really excited about how far we can take it. And while we're waiting, when I get bored of clicking the Jello Town, I'm just going to upgrade things once in a while. A mischievous group of goblins has occupied an ancient ruin, hindering important archaeological research. You can send an expedition party to clear out the goblins. Yeah, clear them out. We don't negotiate with terrorists. It's true, every time we fight the goblins, we get a good bonus. Now we get an extra 2% earnings per second, at least passively. My clicking is up to 1.6 million, so if you buy a few more of these, it's up to 2.5 million per click. 4 clicks, $10 million. All because I built the world's best town. My earnings are so good, I actually went way over the 400 million we needed for a blacksmith, but that's going to add $12 million per second, so it's actually 10 times our earnings. So that's going to make us a billionaire before we know it, because now we're making more like $40 million a second. And if we buy another blacksmith, that's only going to go up from there. Each one does cost $500 million though, otherwise known as 500 million, so that's going to take a few seconds no matter what we do. A group of rogue wizards is using dark magic to terrorize the countryside, causing havoc and destruction. You can seek help from dark wizards in a city. Yeah, we're gonna fight fire with fire. Wizards, get at them. So that ended up adding 2% per click and minus 4% per second, so clicking power went up. The fate of the wizards and the countryside, by the way, is irrelevant apparently. They all got slaughtered, but we make more money. We're also officially billionaires, in fact 2 billionaires, so I'm gonna spend $2 billion on houses just to watch it rain. You can't tell me that wasn't fun though. We have 231 houses squeezed into like a quarter-acre lot. That also basically added absolutely nothing to our earnings. But we're already pretty rich, so what do we care about money? We're gonna buy 1 blacksmith and soon to be 1 more blacksmith. Simply because that's gonna put us up to almost $50 million per second. So we're earning money just like we do in real life, obviously. Do you think this dragon's ever going to get up and move? I know it's like a sanctuary where he's supposed to be safe, but I think if we juggle him enough times, he might feel better. Or just get so annoyed he leaves finally. He's pretty vulnerable. We probably should have just murdered him when we had the chance. He probably had lots of treasure on him. $3 billion, so we're going to spend more money on blacksmiths. That put us up to $93 million per second. Wait, one more time. $104 million every second. Mysterious mushroom. A large mysterious mushroom has started growing in the middle of your city. You could leave it or pluck it. Well, we're gonna leave it. I want to see this mushroom grow. That gives an extra 0.5% per click. While we were reading the mushroom story, we were able to build a church. Costs $3.5 million, but it's gonna earn us $25 million per click. We're currently making $2.5 million, so that's 10 times. 10 times earning per click. So that's $30 million per click. Because of all of our bonuses, we're gonna buy another church. $56 million per click. So it takes less than 20 clicks to make $1 billion. So we better keep going on the churches. Also blacksmiths, we just need more money. $150 million per second over here. I don't know what we're making. Hundreds of millions of dollars per second. Yeah, if I'm clicking pretty quickly, even moderately quickly, $500 million a second. So we need more churches. What a fun town. We have like 400 million houses, 800 taverns, a few bakeries, butcheries. Everyone just sits around eating and drinking, and there's a lot of people. Since we got another $13 billion, it's time for another house reign. Our civilization is so great, why would we not add more people to it? Do you think people like being tossed into the air in town or back there in the trees? A ferocious dragon has nested near a vital trade route, causing fear. We've done this one before. We're going to have the dragon tamer come in, and then we're going to get another dragon. That's an extra 1% per second. These bonuses are starting to add up. We'll celebrate with some churches. $217 million per click. The numbers are getting so big so quickly. So let's see if we can get that over 300, which you should easily up. 325. So every 3 clicks is $1 billion. So I really got to keep on the clicking pressure at this point. Soon enough, actually right now, we'll be able to afford our first farm. This adds 1 billion per second. So 7 times the earnings. Now look at that money go up. $1 billion every second, even quicker, and we don't even have to click anymore, but we're going to. I love how fast the upgrades pay for themselves. More farms. The farms are nice because they're so big, we really can pick them out of the crowd. $3 billion a second. Oh, the mine went again. The miners have come across the thing. The right tunnel was actually the wrong one, so they're going left this time. The mine landed over here. Now we get plus 3% per click, which is an absurd amount of money at this point. So more farms it is. Those 2 or 3 farms we just bought put us up to $6 billion a second. They do cost $60 billion each. No, $70 billion each. So they're definitely getting a little expensive, but they're getting into the foreground. And the earnings are starting to feel pretty good. $10 billion a second. So we're going to do what any wise person would do and spend $170 billion on houses, just to watch them rain from the sky. Then again, what would really put this town over the top is spending $200 billion on taverns. We're gonna have like 1 tavern for every house. That way everyone gets to drink. It's gonna be really, really encouraged at this point. 140 taverns. So we actually have almost 2 people per 1 tavern in my world. Basically, half the people work at the tavern while the other half drink at the tavern. We have the Goblin settlement again. We're going to train warriors. They're going to deal with them, and that's going to give us some kind of bonus, 3% per click. And while we're dealing with them, we hit the money we needed for a guard tower, 440 billion. But that's going to add 10 billion per second. Or per click, rather. Look at all of our money. We're making 500 billion per second, if I'm seeing this correctly. The numbers are getting hard to read because they're going quickly. Whatever the case, I'm buying more guard towers. Look at how much we get per click. I don't know what we need guard towers for. Everyone's just drunk all the time anyway. I don't think anyone would even notice if we got invaded. Well, we're up to 91 billion per click. And with that, we're at 102 billion per click. 10 clicks is $1 trillion. Library, those aren't important. Those cost 5,500 billion, so $5.5 trillion for a library. But that also adds $26 billion a second, so that was also massive earnings for us. And even while we were talking about how massive that was, we can afford another one. And I'm pretty sure it's going to do the same thing again very shortly. Just like that, another one, $85 billion per second. But the clicking is actually doing a lot more for us at this point. We found the old runes again, so we're just gonna let it be because that was the ghost thing again. That one gives 1% total, so it's also counteracting the ghosts. More guard towers, $172 billion per click. We buy, wow, actually a lot of those, $220 billion per click. Basically 4 clicks for a $1 trillion. 4 clicks per trillion. We can get the numbers to get really big in this. I think how it actually reads them out too. So I'm pretty sure if we buy these, it'll be, yeah, less than 3 clicks for $1 trillion. So while we're at it, we need some more libraries. We just bought a whole bunch of those. So $200 billion a second in the background. I don't know where we're making several $1 trillion per second at this point. But it looks like it's going to cost 45 trillion for the guild hall, which actually we've almost made already. So that's going to add 700 billion per click. So that's several times my current earnings anyway. So we're earning $1.15 trillion per click. The goblins showed up, cleared them out, killed them, whatever. That gave us 2% per second. Look at all this money. These numbers are getting stupidly big. So we need more guild halls. And we earned that back like almost instantly, especially if we use an auto clicker. Guild hall, auto clicker, guild hall, auto clicker, and guild hall, auto clicker. $8.3 trillion per click. And we can just keep buying guild halls if we want to. Now we're at 10, 11. Okay, that's going up. $11.5 trillion per click. So we have $233 trillion. Let's add some watchtowers. These are still reasonably inexpensive, so we should be able to make it rain those for a second. The game's gonna love this so much. But no, the city's very safe, which is ironic because the most dangerous thing in a city is me. Oh, we can afford the castle already. With our $642 trillion, one castle's gonna add $1.4 trillion per second. And then we need more guild halls for our clicking power because that's really the big earner right now. We're gonna ask our wizards to fight the wizards again. We fight fire with fire. We buy more guild halls. $17 trillion per second. More guild halls. More guild halls again. We should probably buy another castle. You know what we're going to? That's going to put our earnings up to $3 trillion a second, we'll call it, just to make it nice and even. Pretty sure if we buy enough of the guild halls, they pretty much pay for themselves within like a few seconds. I'm pretty sure we have to click less than 10 times. Maybe a little over 10 times to afford another guild hall. That's also not factoring in just our passive income as well, which seems to be getting pretty high. We've been into the quadrillions of dollars, 1.2 quadrillion. So let's buy another 5 levels of guild halls so our earnings go up even higher. And then castles from level 2 all the way up to level 5, that put our earnings, that's $7 trillion per second. Clicking still does way more, but both are going to add up over time. I accidentally just made a choice on something, and we got the flourishing can. I wonder how big the numbers can get before the game is going to break. Especially with an auto clicker. I can't be loving that. So I think that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to leave an auto clicker going right about here. That way we can make choices and let the game run till something lights on fire, presumably. Okay, we did get another beanstalk out of that's right in the middle of our town. I feel like if I let this go for long enough, we're going to be overrun with beanstalks. But let's see if my auto choice thing actually works. Level 18, level 19, we made a choice. Okay, see you in 12 hours. My town definitely got a little busier overnight. Look at all the beanstalks we have. And on top of all of our many buildings, 4.17 quintillion sacrifices. And we're currently getting $54 trillion per click. So if we spend all of this money on a guild hall, that takes us up to $227 trillion per click, which feels like a pretty fun and adequate amount of money. So let's do the same with the castle. We're currently making 5.7 trillion. That went up to 40 trillion. So even just manually clicking, we're making over $1 quadrillion every single second. So we'll come back to this in 100 years and laugh hysterically.